FM, the Winner's Circle. Welcome back. Episode whatever. I don't even know, but it's exciting to welcome the Young Escape. A little TYE action going on here in the Winner's Circle. Welcome, guys.
Hey, everyone. Hey, Jason.
So good to see you. It's been way too long since we've been able to interact with you guys, that's for sure. So just kind of fill everybody in. What's been going on? Exciting news about signing on with BEC Recordings. I don't want to steal your thunder, but go ahead and share what's been happening.
Yeah, we signed a new record deal. We've been so excited. I feel like a lot of listeners can relate to this, but it feels like for the past couple of years, our lives have been on hold in a way. And so just during that time, like we've really gotten to dig deep and write really honest songs and grow tighter as a band and as a family. We're 4 of 6 kids and all 8 of us live in Spring Hill, Tennessee. And so it's been a really great, even just this past year, getting to write new songs on a new label. We're actually heading out on tour pretty soon here with Big Daddy Weave and Hannah Kerr, and just lots of really, really cool things that God is doing that we're just so excited about.
That's very cool. So you just signed with BEC. What does that mean for you guys? I mean, when you're not with a label, is that a big deal for artists in 2023, or is it kind of nerve-wracking? Are you looking for people to sign you? How does that feel?
Yeah, I think for a lot of artists, it can be nerve-wracking, but for us, like we never really were looking for a record deal to begin with at the beginning of our career. We kind of were just doing it on our own, and God just kind of brought those things to us. And so we've never really felt anxious either way. It's really, really cool having an amazing team like BEC, just our A&R, Brian Ortiz. He's so great at he really gets the vision and what we want to do with our music. And so having people like that to partner with, it makes it like a really, really cool journey. But we've done it on our own for so long too.
Yeah, I think it definitely makes a difference having like a team who believes in you and who can like help push it farther than like we could do on our own, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think that's been super helpful.
Yeah.
So
for those who may not know you guys as well as we do, I'm assuming that they do. That's my problem today. So why don't we go around the room and introduce ourselves and name or just one fact about yourself that people may not know.
Okay. Luke, you go first.
You want me to go first?
We're gonna go youngest to oldest.
Okay, there you go.
Well, my name's Luke, and I'm 19. That's a fact about me.
Okay.
And I know, but I also do the production in the band, all like the producing and mixing.
He's
and
a
engineering.
killer producer.
And I do the drums live. So
yeah,
there you go. And I'm a killer basketball player.
He has a good basketball player.
Okay. My name's Kyrsten. I just turned 23 and I play bass in the band. And then when I'm not doing music, I like baking, and I've been doing sourdough bread lately.
She makes great sourdough
It's pretty
bread.
good, not gonna lie.
It's amazing sourdough bread.
Thanks.
I'll give you my address when we're done.
Yeah.
My name's MaKenna. I'm 24. I sing a lot. I do like the vocals for TYE, and I feel like people don't know this about me, but I do a lot of like design work, and so like any merch that you see and like even some album covers and all that stuff, I love being in that kind of creative area as well. So
Nice.
My name's Ryan. I'm 25. I play guitar in the band, and gosh, I love, as a pastime, I love reading. I love reading books. I feel like I do it very often, and it's something I love, and maybe something that most people don't know about me.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to Luke for the New Year's Eve greeting. We appreciate that. So that was, that was on the fly like that. So we appreciate it. So you guys literally have like grown up in front of our eyes. When we first met you at Big Ticket Festival, I mean, you guys had just come out with Love Me Like You and So Alive. And what is it like as a family in a band? Obviously, there's those dynamics that family sometimes is family. And how do you guys handle that? What are some of the things that maybe come up most often that require a lot of prayer?
yeah, I feel like it's been interesting, like even because like you said, we've kind of grown up a lot since then. Like I think like Luke was maybe, when we played Big Ticket for the first time, he might have been like 13 or 14, around that range. And we were
close to that.
Yeah, we were all kind of like under 20, and but even just like growing up and like gaining independence, and we all kind of have our own individual lives, and just the different things that come with that. That's been kind of it's beautiful and challenging all at once. So getting closer together has always been like super huge to us. We've always been best friends. Our parents, when we were younger, they would always tell us, if you guys can't be friends with each other, you guys can't have any other friends.
We tell our kids the same thing.
Yeah,
it sounds kind of brutal, but it is true. It works because you're like, okay, we're gonna get along now. But I would say though, it's been, because I feel like we are here because of God's faithfulness. There's been a lot of things that I think that people can measure success in different ways, but I think that the way we've measured it is like, we're not like this breakout band right now or anything like that. We've been at it for a while, and but we've seen God work through our music. Even if it's just one person that comes up after a show and tells us that they heard one of our songs on the radio at the right time and it actually prevented them from harming themselves, or just things like that. That is what's worth it to us. And we were actually like reflecting on that on New Year's Eve and just Christmas with our family, and just saying like, that's how we want to measure success. And that's what's been like so huge to us.
Let me ask Ryan and Luke this question. If you guys could collaborate with anybody, who would it be?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, Ryan and I both would turn on Toby Mac's old live performance.
Yeah.
Right?
We listen. Him and I listened to a lot of Toby Mac when we were really young.
Ryan's wearing a Toby Mac hat.
Yeah, he's wearing
I'm wearing his hat.
I did see that. Yeah.
Toby would be a really good.
Switchfoot is one, you know.
Yeah, we love Switchfoot.
Switchfoot, Coldplay. I'd say Coldplay.
Yeah,
would be
Coldplay
like
would be really cool.
the ultimate.
Yeah.
What you guys think? You guys got any?
Oh, I feel like we would say the same thing.
Yeah,
Same.
I feel like the
Yeah.
same. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to see a NF Young Escape.
That too. That's a great idea.
I would love that. I love it.
That's another great one.
That would be
Kirsten knows
Kirsten
all of
did
NF
NF,
songs.
yeah.
She
I'll
raps
do-
that song.
No.
Yeah, by herself in her room.
I'm gonna text him right now. You got to collaborate.
That would be cool.
Hit him
Yeah,
up.
we were just talking about, my son and I were just talking about, we need to push for Christian music artists to be featured at the halftime show of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, cool.
And why hasn't that happened yet is what I want to know.
Yeah.
Come on. I can see a Skillet halftime show. Come on, that would rock.
Oh, they could do
kill
it easily. Yeah.
Yeah, that would
Anyway.
be cool.
So a new single under BEC, Turning My Heart. We've been playing it on Fuel FM lately. It's a good song. What's the inspiration and meaning behind that?
Thank you guys for playing that, by the way.
Thank
You guys
so much.
Yeah, we love Fuel FM and all the support you guys have always given us. But Turning My Heart, it's actually really crazy. Like, even just as we're talking about getting older and stuff, as we were writing this song with a couple of friends, we were just looking back just on how God used Christian music in our lives. And so this song is really a tribute to the way not only God has used Christian music, but artists and songs to really build and deepen our faith. God really used that to bring us to him. Like, it was always through worship music and just some of the songs that we mentioned in that
it's great.
I'm sure that some people can pick out a few that they can remember listening to.
I remember in the backseat singing, don't wanna gain the world and lose my soul. Dare you to move on my bedroom speakers. Played it loud when no one was home. Lifted my hands to 10,000 reasons with all my friends on a summer night. I remember I could only imagine all the ways you would change my life.
Yeah, that's really what the heart behind it is about. It's really our story. So
Cool. Also, Broken is Beautiful. That's obviously another great single that you guys released last year. Love that one. But I want to talk about what went into doing the Landslide Fleetwood Mac remake for your mom. That was kind of a special thing.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, she always, I know you guys remember this too. We've talked about this before, but she used to always sing that song to us when we were like, when she'd put us to sleep at night, or like, and it's always been, I'm not even joking, she's probably listened to that song a million times, but she cries every time she listens to it. And so it was around Mother's Day, I think. Did we drop it on Mother's Day?
Might have been.
I think so.
It might have been, around that time, if I'm remembering correctly. But we wanted to just our mom has always been such a huge support to us. And she's always just really been such a huge encouragement. And so we had wanted to do that for her for a while. And so our mom was the inspiration behind it.
Yeah.
That's great. So 4 of 6 siblings, the other 2, are they interested in music? Are they in the band doing anything or helping out at all?
They want nothing to do with the band.
They want nothing to do with the
band. They're musical. They both play piano. Andrew does a little ukulele and stuff like that.
He's a great singer. Jack plays ragtime piano, so he's
he's really
our
good.
house is constantly filled with just beautiful ragtime music. And
so they're really talented, but I think Andrew wants to be like a basketball player. And then
gotcha.
Jack's just super smart and loves like investing.
He loves crypto, stock, all that stuff. So
he's too smart to get into music.
Exactly.
That's good. Some people choose a year or a word for their year. I don't know if you guys do anything like that. If you did, what is the word for 2023 for you personally? Let's start with Luke.
That's a good question.
Gosh, I don't know.
If you don't have one, that's fine. I was just curious.
Yeah.
Do you have one?
I'll call you back.
I feel like I haven't like officially chosen one, but I think a word that keeps like coming to me is like breakthrough for this year. And I think that I like am just kind of hoping and praying that like just on all fronts in like my life personally, like just like with our music, like just growing in my relationship with God and just my relationship with others too. Like I think that that's like a word that has just kept coming to my mind. So I guess that would be my word. But what about you?
I haven't even picked a word, to be honest with you. I've done that in previous years, but I haven't thought about it. But I did have recently, I always like do my makeup like by my window in my bedroom, and I just had like, you know, like when you wake up in the morning and you just have this thought that's going through your brain and you don't know how it got there, but like I'm like thinking like, oh, this is like totally God. But I don't know what Bible verse this is, but this just phrase kept repeating in my head that morning as I was doing my makeup by my window. But it was Jesus saw him and he was filled with compassion. And like that word compassion, like that just kept rolling through my brain. And I just thought about like, man, I need to be better at that. And when people, you know, interact with me, when I interact with other people, am I looking at people filled with compassion? And are they seeing that? Are they feeling that even if I don't have anything to say? And so that's kind of been a really something that's just convicted me that I want to really take into this next year.
What about you, Ryan? Did you have a word?
Man, I think a word for me that's kind of been in my mind is just the word improvement. I just like, I really want to just, I think this year I really just want to focus on not worrying so much about the huge milestones, but worrying more so about the steps that it takes to get to those milestones, and just taking things in my life one step at a time, and just becoming a better brother, a better musician, a better follower of Jesus, and just focusing on those incremental steps that it takes to get to those things. So I think the word improvement would probably be mine for sure.
What is a marker you think that shows that you've improved, right? We talk about, I want to be a better this, a better that. What is a benchmark for something like that that's so kind of out there? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think it's funny because we often overlook those markers because we don't realize that we're making progress.
Sure.
We don't realize that we're making these small changes, and so I think they often get overlooked. I think they're often the small things, and I think I've really found that, especially over the course of this past year, and just really trying to focus on just becoming a better Christ follower or a better person. Is just that. Just look at the small things and just, you know, it's not always about, you know, the huge changes. It's oftentimes just in the small things that you can really see the markers and things like that. Consistency. Yeah.
I saw an Instagram post yesterday, I think it was, but it was talking about how I guess this person had a mason jar, and each week of this last year, she wrote down something good that happened or in some way that she made progress, something good she did that week, and she just put it in the jar. And at the end of the year, she was able to like open up the jar and see all the progress she had made, because you often don't. You know, life is made up of so many mundane little moments that you forget. And so it was able kind of to remind her that, you know, just what God was doing in her life just week to week.
Yeah,
So
That's great.
I feel like that's cool because like I like journaling, and so if you like journal, I don't journal every day, but if you journal as much as you can, and you kind of look back over like what you've journaled about, or like even like prayed, like if you write out your prayers and stuff, I think that's super eye-opening too, to just see like you overcome these little things, and if you didn't look back and like have it written down, you would just forget about it.
that's so true.
So I feel like that's helpful too, like just keeping track of everything. But
Yeah.
I think the hard part, going back to what Ryan was saying, is that we want to see the big things because we're so busy listening to the enemy tell us all the things we're still doing wrong. And it's like we need to learn to drown him out with. I'm speaking for myself here. You guys just get to listen. We should drown him out with more of God's words instead of his. But he comes in pretty loud, like a roaring lion, right? And it's like, man, I need to drown him out, which is why you should play the Young Escape music, because that helps do that.
Nice.
But going back to one of your just recent singles, "Broken is Beautiful," MaKenna. I mean, that's coming from a place of, I may be broken, but God will use that, right? Beauty from ashes, things like that. Explain a little bit about that song.
Yeah, that song. We actually played that song on the Crowder tour, like when I was 19 at the time, and we wrote it really early on, but it was a song that we had always been passionate about, but we just had never gotten the chance to release it. And so when we finally were able to release it, it was great. But I remember when we did write it during that time, we were all kind of like in this young, insecure, I know I was really insecure. And you know, you're just like, when you're young, like you don't want to make the mistakes your friends are making, and like just different things like that, because what if that's like, you know what I mean? And just like upholding a certain image on Instagram or comparing yourself to other people's lives, like just when you're comparing yourself to highlight reels. And I really needed to sing those words at that time, like my broken is beautiful, and like my story, if I'm real and if I'm open and I'm willing to like share it, it can make a difference and bring a light to the broken. And so that was sometimes God gives you songs that you need to sing in order to like keep reminding yourself something, and that was that song for me at that time. So it was so great to be able to release it. Yeah, because I was an insecure 19-year-old girl.
Well, and how much do you think social media has played a part in the comparison game? Like we see, like Ryan, we see the big benchmarks for some people on Instagram and Facebook and things. Are like, man, I wish I could do something like that, or I'm never going to do. So we get this comparison thing, right? So what would you encourage young people who are, I mean, listen, we're all into TikTok and I'm not into TikTok, but Instagram and all that stuff. I'm too old for TikTok. Instagram and all of that. How would you encourage people to just, you know what, run your race and you know, be happy for other people or whatever, but run your race, right?
Yeah. Well, and I know for me too, like just personally, I don't ever post my worst moments on social media. And I don't think you do either. I don't think anyone does. You know what I mean? And so no one knows like what, like, I mean, I try to be as real as I can on social media, but I'm certainly not always posting, you know, when I mess up or if something, you know, and I think people do like to make things look more successful or bigger than they actually are, just from insecurity. And so it is interesting though, because even for us, because we're still really young, but we didn't exactly grow up with social media. We were kind of on it a little bit later, but even I think of just my little brothers and how they're actually not on social media, which is great. But so many young people, I know so many young girls, just friends, family friends, and they have like 13-year-old daughters and they're on TikTok and they're constantly comparing themselves to all the greatest makeup trends and these fashion models. And, you know, you can't see like the flawed skin up close in person. It just looks perfect on social media, and they're like, why can't my skin be like that? Or why can't I look like this. And, you know, even you can even post a picture on social media and have it look like a really great angle. But in person, you're like, and then little girls are like, man, why can't I look like that? And I know I struggled with that a lot, but I would say, if anyone out there is feeling like that right now, like God made no mistake when he made you, and you are so individually unique. Like there's no one else like you out there. And so really kind of just dig deep into thinking about who God created you to be. And you know, the Bible talks about how we were made in the image of God. And so I don't think there's any mistake in that. But yeah, and log off of social media for a while. It's not necessary.
I just get to the point where I'm so tired of not being as cool as Luke. So it's like, I gotta just get off. Hey, Luke, what's going on, man? What's Luke, what you looking forward to in 2023?
I'm looking forward to going on our new tour that we're doing. It's been a little bit since we've done a tour, huh? So I'm excited to get back on the road and be playing drums. I'm actually going to be playing drums for Hannah Kerr too on the tour.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's going to be really fun to be doing that. And I do a lot of producing and mixing aside from the band too, for a lot of other artists. So I'm really excited to be just expanding that and working for a bunch of other people and just getting better at doing all that stuff. So
thank you so much for your time today. I know you guys are busy. You've got a lot of stuff going on. Happy New Year to you. And one more time from each of you, just give an encouraging word for the year for those who are watching.
Yes. Yeah. Who wants to go first? Are we gonna go youngest to oldest again?
Let's go oldest to youngest this time.
Oh,
okay.
nice.
Okay.
Oldest. Man. Well, I loved what MaKenna was saying about. I just love what we were talking about. How, you know, it's just so easy to compare yourself to highlights and all that kind of thing. And I would just say, just stay faithful to what God has called you to. And everyone is called to something different. And just because you feel like you're not as beautiful or as great as some of these people on social media, that doesn't mean that your calling or anything like that is insignificant, because it is very significant in the eyes of God. And so I would just say, just stay faithful to that.
Yeah, I would say a Bible verse that I've just been thinking a lot about is the one where it talks about how the goodness and love of God will follow you all the days of your life. And that doesn't mean just some days, your best days, it's your best and your worst days. And so no matter what this year holds, there's going to be lots of ups and downs, lots of shocks, and lots of really great mountaintop experiences. But whatever it is, his goodness and love will follow you to wherever he leads you. And so know that God is with you, and that his goodness and love will follow you all the days of your life.
So good.
Good.
Yeah, I would say maybe just like focus on staying faithful to like the dreams that God has placed in your heart, because like we've been talking about that lately, just how even the past couple of years for us, it has just felt like just since COVID, having like live shows shut down and having them kind of slowly trickle back in, it's just kind of felt like a season of just waiting and trying to like get through that waiting period. And so I would just say that like kind of just like remember the dream that God put in your heart, and remember why you started first pursuing that dream. I think for us, it's like just seeing the impact, like God working through our music, and just hearing people's stories. So I feel like we go back to that a lot to kind of like remind us why we're doing this. But yeah, I would just say keep pursuing those dreams and just don't give up on them. So
yeah, I would say something similar to what you were saying, is just to be, comparing yourself to other people, and just be focused on yourself and focus on getting better at what you do. Especially for like younger people. I know like for me, when we first signed, it was like I couldn't produce yet because I was too young, and so I'd say just like focusing on hard work and getting better at what you love, and trusting God in that process, and just keeping at it.
Okay,
So,
on that
Yeah.
note, because Luke, many people don't know this about Luke, but he is a killer producer. But when we were young and we signed our first record deal, it was almost like people were like, oh, he's too young to produce. He can't do it yet. And he was constantly being like kind of looked down upon, but he always like went back to that Bible verse. So if there's any young people out there, it says, what does it say?
I think it's don't let
It's
anyone
Timothy.
because you're young.
Yeah, don't let
Be a
anyone
good
think less of
example.
you, like,
That's all
yeah,
it
and
is.
be a good example. And that's like I feel like that verse is like for your life, because now he produced Turning in My Heart, he did like all that
Yeah,
different
he does
stuff.
all
So
of our music now.
and
So.
yeah, kind of like to what Kyrsten said, it's like if you're young out there and you have a dream in your heart, like don't let anyone discourage you from chasing after what God has called you
Yeah.
to do, because there's a promise for the ones who hold on. So yeah.
Sweet. Good stuff, you guys. Thank you so much, Young Escape, for
You,
being in
Jason.
the winner's circle today.
We love
Yeah.
Fuel FM.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll
guys
see you soon.
Yes.
Yes.